Paolo Fazioli is a genius and a true visionary. In 1980, at a time when piano factories around the world were closing their doors, Paolo Fazioli set out to build the world's finest pianos. By the mid-80s, word was spreading around the world about this Italian pianist and engineer who was combining his two worlds of knowledge to make the finest pianos known to man. Soon, great classical pianists like Angela Hewitt and Louis Lortie and many others, and in the jazz world, Herbie Hancock, were making the change to Fazioli pianos. Even as recently as 2011, the Juilliard School of Music, which famously only ever bought one single brand of pianos for the previous 80 years, made the change and broke away from tradition to buy a Fazioli piano. In Vancouver, local architect Gregory Henriquez was commissioned to design the case for a Fazioli piano that was going to go into the Telus Gardens building. This is the unique story of its creation.
I'm sitting right where the piano is going to be, which is right in the center of the lobby. When we originally designed the lobby, the piano was in our back of our minds, but we didn't actually have a really defined spot. And when Gillespie approached me to design the piano, I said, well, I'm not so sure. You know, I've seen some of the other custom pianos that have been designed, and a lot of them are just adapting an existing piano. And I said, you know, if we're going to do something, let's make something very specific for this building. And Telus Garden has a very specific aesthetic, which is about a certain sort of geometry and a certain materiality. And if we could find a way to make the piano in sync with that, I think we thought it would be very exciting. So if you look on the outside of the building, just outside and beside us, you'll see these giant V-shaped columns. And these V-shaped columns hold up the front of the office component of the building. And so I thought if there was some way we could hold up the piano using the same sort of geometry rather than a traditional leg, it would not only be more modern, but it would also be in keeping with our specific space. So above me, you can see these giant glulam beams, which are sculpted very much to look like sort of inside of a whale. The idea of the space really came from Darren Entwistle. He wanted something that was West Coast Gothic, which was inspired by both First Nations forests, but also felt in terms of materiality and sculptural nature, something that was very much of this place in the world. And so you have a piano which has V-shaped legs, is made out of Douglas fir, edge-grained Douglas fir, very much like the beams above us. And so what you have is a traditional piano in terms of acoustics, but the outside of the piano has completely been reinvented to be of this place. Even the chair, a little seat, the stool that it sits on, is a little Z-shaped chair which relates to the geometry of the piano. And we're very excited about what it's going to become in terms of a focal point for the space. The acoustics of this space are really well suited to a piano because of the nature of the series of trusses above me, the glulam beams. It's very much like a concert hall. Music can reverberate around and bounce around the space in a way that it'll be actually quite magical.